Chapter 15. The Line in the Sand. The morning after General Petrov's bold declaration, the sky over New Dawn painted a picture of both beauty and foreboding with its deep violet hues. The sun of Proxima Centauri was a dim beacon, its light struggling through the thick atmosphere as if mirroring the mood of the colony. The news from Earth felt irrelevant as the real threat loomed closer with each passing moment. The Red Dawn had not just arrived to share the planet. They were here to claim it. From their landing site, the CRF began to aggressively carve out territory on the same continent as New Dawn, establishing a clear 200 kilometers buffer zone flanking New Dawn's territory. This wasn't just a physical boundary, but a psychological one, a constant reminder of their presence and intent. New Dawn's scouts, using advanced surveillance equipment, relayed critical information back to the colony. The CRF had brought approximately 800 colonists, a significant number indicating their intention for a long-term presence. More ominously, they had 200 military personnel, equipped with advanced weaponry that included energy-based rifles, drones capable of both reconnaissance and attack, and automated defense systems that could control the airspace over their claimed territory. In contrast, New Dawn was comprised of 500 individuals, primarily scientists, researchers, and engineers, with only a handful of security personnel who had been more accustomed to maintaining order than engaging in combat. This disparity in military might was stark, and it necessitated an urgent reevaluation of their strategy. Ilara Vance, addressing her community in the open command center, where all could see, spoke with a calm that contrasted with the urgency of her message.
The CRF has shown their hand, claiming land on our doorstep. But we will not be intimidated. We will respond with intelligence, unity, and a strength they haven't anticipated.
Elias Chen took charge of the strategic response, understanding that a new military force needed to be created, not just out of necessity, but from the unique assets New Dawn possessed.
We'll start by forming a defense force,
he announced.
But our secret weapon won't be conventional. It will be our minds.
This led to the inception of the Thought Engineers, a special faction within New Dawn's newly forming military. These were individuals trained to harness the psychological effects of Proxima b, using the planet's unique properties to their advantage. Among them, Nia Patel emerged as the strongest, her psychic abilities already noted after her recovery from the mysterious attack. She could influence the environment, create illusions, and even communicate telepathically with a small group of similarly gifted recruits, about a dozen in total. Mira Chen took the lead in training these thought engineers, understanding that their power lay not in brute force, but in the manipulation of perception and reality.
We've learned to control our fears. Now we'll project our strength,
she explained during one of the intense training sessions. They practiced in secluded areas, learning to extend their mental influence over larger areas, to create visual and sensory deceptions, or to calm or agitate the minds of others. Adrian Locke and his team continued to integrate the alien technology into their strategy.
We'll use the machine to amplify the abilities of our thought engineers,
Adrian proposed.
We can make our defenses appear more formidable, our numbers seem greater, and perhaps even influence the CRF's decision-making if we get close enough.
The community of New Dawn adapted to this new reality with remarkable resilience. Everyone participated in the fortification efforts, from reinforcing their homes to learning basic combat and survival skills. The hydroponics were not only expanded for sustenance, but also to grow plants that might serve in defense or camouflage, or even have psychoactive properties to use in psychological warfare. Communication with Earth was maintained diligently. Ilara ensured the updates sent back included not just their defensive preparations, but also their scientific and cultural achievements, painting a picture of a thriving, resilient community.
We need to show Earth that we're not just surviving, we're forging a new path for humanity,
She emphasized. The tension was palpable, both physically and emotionally. There were moments of doubt, but the leadership was there to share in the burden, fostering a sense of unity and purpose. Communal gatherings became more frequent, where stories of Earth, of home, were shared, keeping morale high amidst the looming threat. As days turned into weeks, the 200 kilometers buffer zone became both a psychological and strategic frontier. Patrols were regular, and the colonists grew accustomed to living with the knowledge of their new neighbors. They studied the CRF's military movements, technology, and daily life, while also using the buffer zone to plant life that could serve as both a natural barrier and a resource. The thought engineers, under Nia's guidance, began subtle operations. They would project feelings of unease across the border, ensuring the CRF felt they were always being watched, or manipulate the weather to appear more hostile. When the CRF ventured close to the border, Elias, in one of his nightly briefings, noted,
They're watching us just as much. We need to project not just strength, but also the values of peace and cooperation. We are the first humans here. Let's show what humanity can be at its best.
Meanwhile, New Dawn also started cultural outreach via drones, sending messages of peace, music, and art towards the CRF, hoping to humanize their presence and perhaps sow seeds of diplomacy. However, the underlying tension was undeniable. The CRF's aggressive expansion, their visible military parades, spoke of a strategy not of peace, but of dominance. Under the alien stars, New Dawn stood vigilant, ready to defend what they had built, but also prepared to extend a hand, hoping the line in the sand could one day be crossed not in conflict, but in cooperation. The dawn on New Dawn was no longer just about the light of Proxima Centauri, but about the dawn of a new chapter in human history, where the choices made here could echo across the cosmos, defining what it means to be human in the vastness of space.